Hi, I'm Mandisa Thomas, founder and president of Black Nonbelievers Incorporated, and I'm happy to be participating in the second Atheist of Facebook convention. And the title of my talk is The Importance of Participating Offline as well as supporting secular organizations. Now, just to give a background on myself, Black Nonbelievers has been in existence now for going on the past 5 years, and I'm happy to say that I'm preparing for us to celebrate our 5th year in January on the 16th. And I've learned a lot since being an organizer within the secular community. I am happy to say that I have met a lot of people online. It was a great starting point for when I found myself re-identifying as an atheist and looking for that network. But I can say for myself as a person that I do like to connect with people. Part of what I do in my regular life, or basically in my day job, is communicating and connecting with people. And you learn a lot about people when you meet them in person. And so, in forming this organization, our primary purpose was to find people offline so that people would know that they could tangibly connect with others, so that they would know that beyond the online arena, which again, I acknowledge has been important, and it is important for information and establishing a network. There was nothing like finding others and seeing them in person, because that's how you genuinely know that people exist. And the premise of our organization was to build up that network, because that is actually what the religious community and other communities have been successful in doing. Getting people offline to participate in fellowship, which is very important for those of us atheists and non-believers who have felt that sense of isolation, those who have experienced that ostracism. It is important for all of us to know that there are people that we can actually sit down and I'm sorry, to know that, again, that people exist. And also it's good to know the organizations that are on the ground that are actually working for for rights that pertain to atheists and non-believers and secularists. There are a lot of organizations that are doing that. There are also other social organizations, support organizations. So there's a lot out there, that there are a lot of options for people to choose from, should they so want to. It is important though, because I find that you get a better sense of who people really are online. What I've been finding is that the online arena tends to bring out some of the best and worst in people. We know our community is very intellectually based. We're information based. We definitely like to show that ability within ourselves, but unfortunately, there are times when this gets lost in translation. There are some times when the communication becomes really, really harsh, and the social art. One thing I always say is that we do lack a lot in social skill, and that is something that, even for those who felt that isolation, I can say that most of us need. And in participating with groups offline and getting to see what these organizations do, you find that there are many people who felt like, well, I don't mind being the lone wolf. Why would this apply to me? I just leave people alone, which is fine. But however, when it comes to actually seeing what is done, and the importance of the organizations on the ground, who are like American Atheists, for example, and Freedom from Religion Foundation, they actually go into the courtrooms and they challenge they challenge legislation, they challenge laws that that and statutes that are violating separation of church and state, which is something that is important to all of us. And that is something that we as secularists, no matter who we are, do need to support. Of course, they cannot handle everything, every issue or every problem within the movement and the community. And this is why organizations like Black Nonbelievers was formed, because there was a specific need to help bring out more nonbelievers, especially from the Black community, to within to the secular community and in the Black communities, because we're still very much underrepresented in person in particular. There's a huge network online, and that's growing, and that is awesome. I'm proud to say that we've been a facilitator of that, and we've helped that process along. However, when it comes to the representation of people who need to see us in person, people who need to see, that's where the numbers count. It has to go beyond the online arena where people can actually see you, where people can actually get to know you a whole lot better. One thing I've noticed is that, there tend to be different personalities that we have and that we express online and offline. Sometimes the online arena can be very off-putting. I know I've mentioned that before, but it can be very off-putting for those who are starting to get to know people. And I've noticed that, there are certain things that would be said in person that you wouldn't say in person, that you say online that you wouldn't say in person. And I'm from a neighborhood where, hey, you gonna say, you say to my face. Now that, of course, we don't encourage that type of, fighting too much, but even though some people do. But I would say that you get a better sense of how people are when you're facing them in person. And I think that is important for in being engaging and showing that other face to the secular community and to atheists that so many are trying to combat. The image of the atheists are still white males, and the standoffish white males or the elitist white males. People need to know that our community is beyond that, that there are those of us who are, we represent different faces and different personalities and different abilities. And that can be better shown when we are engaging folks in person. It's important to find your a local organization that you are that you could become a part of, or that is that has a cause that is passionate to you, and support them. Nothing can happen without donations. Nothing can happen without financial support. And this is for any organization, whether we're talking about your small social organizations to your larger organizations. We depend on your dollars for the work that we do. Now, people ask what Black Nonbelievers does. I will say that for an organization, we increase the visibility of nonbelievers of color. We meet offline, we meet in person, we participate in various activities. They range from social to to community-oriented activities. We participate. We've helped. We've contributed to study groups, focus groups. We've contributed to documentaries to people, for people to be aware of our existence and to know that we're doing our part to increase that diversity within the secular community. It isn't just a one-way street. We need for people to understand that there is a need for our organization to exist as well as to operate. In these past 5 years, we've increased our network and our scope. We now have 9 different groups in affiliate groups in various cities throughout the country. And in order for those groups to grow, and in order for us to become more involved, we actually need that support. This year, we've been able to, we've actually been fortunate enough to be featured in some major publications or major networks or outlets like CNN and CBS Sunday Morning. Very happy that me and my group members were able to participate in that. And that just shows the level of commitment that we have to what it is that we do. And we continue, and it gets hard. It is very difficult. I understand how comforting it can be or how comfortable it can be, the online arena, and it is convenient. There's a lot that, again, you can learn from there. However, the lot of the real work takes place in real time, and it is on the ground. And for many of us, BN isn't just what I do. I have a full-time job. I am a mother of three. I am married as well. And so there are many issues that pertain to my community that affect me directly. As in addition to just being an atheist, I have experienced a lot of what many other atheists and Black atheists in particular have experienced, encountering Christians within our community. And if you are familiar with the Black community at all, you see that, or you understand the dominance of religion, Christianity in particular, that has this hold on our community, and that is an uphill battle. These are things that we are trying to turn around, in addition to supporting those who need it. People who need to know that they aren't alone and that there are people out there who will help and support them. Because even with folks that are online, there's still this loneliness that people feel that we don't like for people to take, I wouldn't say solace, but to use as a security blanket. Usually there is in any major city, you can find a secular organization. And if there isn't one near you, then it's possible to create it. That's how people know, or those who are in the closet, so to speak, those who think they're the only ones, will find out. You take that networking, you take the online, your ability to start something online, and then you take it offline. These are how genuine relationships and networking is formed. And through the conventions, which there are many, yes, there are a lot of national conventions, and they can get pretty pricey. That's certainly understandable. But there are other smaller regional conventions and conferences that are out there. There's actually free events at times. All of the events can't be free because there's costs. There's costs involved in putting things together. And I think that at times the online arena can kind of distort that and how that process comes about. So when you actually get involved, you realize how much time and money it takes to put these things together. And I think that for those who think they can't do it, that's fine. Or it's understandable when you say that you can't do it, or you may not think you would be able to. But help support those who do. It isn't easy for us. I know some people, they may see us they may see us in different interviews and online, and our presentations that are recorded, and we appreciate, I know I appreciate the support as much as possible. However, it isn't always easy for me, and I need that support just like everyone else. It isn't something that it isn't something that I'm just trying to be famous for, but it is something that I know I have dedicated to doing. And if you appreciate those who have done that, then it is good to support them. None of us are trying to get rich off of this. Certainly we are trying to build and develop something that is sustainable for our organizations and the community that we can all utilize and benefit. I know for Black non-believers, we try to help people to help themselves. That is something that religion has kind of discouraged people from doing, that mindset. And it has discouraged a lot of progression. And we definitely are about trying to turn that around. And there are all sorts of things that can be accomplished and all sorts of things that can be done. But that first step is just finding the people that are out there and knowing that you can actually meet with them. You can come past that. You can overcome that sense of social anxiety, and it may be difficult for some folks. I completely understand that, but it is something that is important to at least try to overcome. And hopefully outlets like this will be a good starting point. So I'm going to end this here by saying thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this event. If you want to learn more about our organization and become more involved and support us, our website is www.blacknonbelievers.org. We are online on Meetup at meetup.com/blacknonbelievers. You can find more information about our affiliate organizations as well at our website. We are on Twitter at BNonbelievers. The BN is capitalized. And there are a number of YouTube videos that we've done. You can find us. We do have a channel. We are still building that. But it shows our online. There's a body of work that we have that we have shown as far as what it is that we do. The most recent one was produced by Seth Andrews, the Thinking Atheist, and it was an interview with me. That and it shows, it gives a great example of what it is that we do, the history of Black free thought in our community, and how there is need for a sense of progression and a turnaround. But we are doing our parts to try and do that. And I will say, for me and on behalf of the organization, it is important that coming offline eventually will make the difference. Whether it is just participating, whether you are financially supporting, or even morally supporting, that makes a huge difference. And I know that there have been many people that have been burnt by their religious experience, but as far as a community experience, this is something that can be rebuilt and that can be created within the secular community. Diversity isn't just about who we are, it is about what we do and how we do it. And certainly we can always utilize the talents and our abilities that were utilized within the religious community, or if you've never had that community, you can certainly apply it towards the secular community and any organization that you are a part of. So thank you once again, and my name is Mandisa Thomas, and continue to enjoy the convention.